The unthinkable just happened, and professional wrestling will never be the same. Femi, the NXT North American champion, just did what seemed absolutely impossible. He took down Brock Lesnar on Monday night in an attack so vicious, so calculated, so brutally one-sided that the Beast incarnate was left motionless in the middle of the ring while a relative unknown stood over him and declared that WrestleMania 42 will be the stage where he ends Lesnar's legacy forever. If you think WWE has lost its mind, if you're furious that they're even entertaining this matchup, if you're convinced this is the most disrespectful booking decision in years, you're not alone. But before you rage quit this video, you need to hear exactly how this went down, because what Femi did to Brock Lesnar wasn't luck, wasn't a fluke, and wasn't anything close to what anyone expected. Raw was moving through its normal programming when Brock Lesnar's music hit. No warning, no announcement, just the Beast returning to Monday nights with Paul Heyman at his side, ready to cut a promo about his Royal Rumble intentions and WrestleMania plans. The crowd exploded because Lesnar appearances are always electric, always unpredictable, always must-see television. Heyman grabbed the microphone and started his usual masterclass in hype, building Lesnar up as the most dominant force in WWE history, declaring that whoever wins the Rumble will face their worst nightmare at WrestleMania. And then the lights went out. Complete darkness. The arena went silent with that anticipatory hush that means something major is about to happen. When the lights came back up, Femi was standing on the entrance ramp, arms crossed, staring directly at Lesnar with an intensity that immediately changed the entire atmosphere. The crowd didn't know how to react. This wasn't a legend confronting Lesnar. This wasn't a main event star. This was someone most of the Raw audience barely knew, standing there like he belonged in this moment. Lesnar started laughing, actually laughing. Heyman looked confused, trying to figure out who this massive human even was, and that's when Femi started walking toward the ring with the kind of purposeful stride that screamed bad intentions. No music, no elaborate entrance, just a 6'5", 270-pound force of nature advancing on the most dangerous man in WWE history like it meant absolutely nothing. Here's my first question for the comments. Had you even heard of Femi before this moment, or did WWE just throw a complete unknown at their biggest star? Let me know, because this is the controversy tearing the fan base apart right now. Security tried to intercept Femi at ringside. Big mistake. He demolished them without breaking stride, dropping trained professionals with strikes that looked legitimately devastating. 3 security guards down in seconds, and Femi rolled into the ring before Lesnar could even fully process what was happening. Paul Heyman started backing up, yelling warnings, but Brock looked amused more than concerned, because who is this kid to think he can walk into Brock Lesnar's space? The confrontation started with words. Femi grabbed a microphone and spoke with shocking calmness. Brock Lesnar, for 20 years you've been the measuring stick, the final boss, the one nobody can beat. But you've never faced anyone like me. You've never faced the ruler. And at WrestleMania 42, the entire world will watch as I prove that your time is over. The disrespect was astronomical. The audacity was infuriating. And Lesnar's reaction? He stepped forward, getting nose-to-nose with Femi, ready to F5 this upstart back to developmental and end this embarrassment before it started. Heyman was screaming instructions, the crowd was buzzing with anticipation, and everyone watching expected Lesnar to destroy this kid in 30 seconds or less. Except that's not what happened. Femi struck first, with a forearm that actually staggered Brock Lesnar. Not a glancing blow, not a setup for a comeback, but a legitimate strike that made the Beast take 3 steps backwards. The arena gasped. Commentary went silent, because we've seen hundreds of wrestlers try to fight Lesnar, and they don't land clean shots that make him react like he just got hit by a freight train. Lesnar roared and charged, but Femi was ready. He caught Lesnar's attempted clothesline, transitioned into a power slam that shook the entire ring, and the impossible started becoming reality. Brock Lesnar, the man who's destroyed everyone from The Undertaker to John Cena to Roman Reigns, was in actual trouble against someone most people had never heard of until 5 minutes ago. A slight question. Do you think this attack was too one-sided, or does Femi need this kind of destructive debut to be taken seriously? Drop your thoughts, because the debate is already explosive. Paul Heyman tried to interfere, climbing on the apron, but Femi grabbed him by the collar and literally tossed him into the front row like discarding garbage. The special counsel, the wise man, the mouthpiece of the beast, thrown away like he meant nothing. That image alone will be replayed in highlight packages forever. The moment that established Femi doesn't care about reputations or legacy or politics. He only cares about destruction. With Heyman neutralized, Femi turned his full attention back to Lesnar, who was trying to pull himself up using the ropes. The beating that followed was hard to watch, not because of blood or gore, but because of the symbolism. Brock Lesnar has been untouchable for so long that seeing him vulnerable, seeing him hurt, seeing him unable to mount his trademark comeback, it broke something fundamental in WWE's established hierarchy. Femi hoisted Lesnar up for a powerbomb, and the execution was perfect. Lesnar crashed into the mat with impact that looked genuinely dangerous, the kind of bump that makes you wonder if someone's actually injured. But Femi wasn't finished. He pulled Lesnar up again, delivered a second powerbomb, then a third, each one seemingly more devastating than the last. The crowd was losing their minds, split between those chanting for Femi's dominance and those booing the disrespect being shown to a legend. The finish came with Femi's signature move, which most Raw viewers had never seen before. He calls it the Fall, a modified chokeslam spinebuster hybrid that he delivered to Lesnar with such force that the ring literally bounced. Brock was down, motionless, and Femi stood over him, placing one boot on Lesnar's chest in the most disrespectful pin attempt you can imagine. Referees swarmed the ring, but there was no count. This wasn't a match. This was a statement. Femi grabbed the microphone again, standing over Brock Lesnar's fallen body, and delivered the challenge that's now reverberating throughout the entire wrestling industry. WrestleMania 42, you and me, and I promise you, Lesnar, when that match is over, your legend dies and my reign begins. He dropped the mic on Lesnar's chest and walked out of the ring without looking back, leaving carnage and chaos in his wake. EMTs rushed to check on Lesnar, who was selling like he'd been hit by a truck. Paul Heyman was screaming into a phone, presumably calling for backup or medical assistance, and the WWE Universe was left trying to process what they just witnessed. Comment section debate. Is Femi ready for this spotlight, or did WWE just sacrifice Brock Lesnar's credibility to push someone who isn't proven on the main roster? Be honest with your answer. The immediate aftermath was pandemonium. Social media exploded with reactions ranging from excited to absolutely furious. Traditional wrestling fans were outraged that WWE would have someone with relatively limited main roster experience destroy their biggest attraction. Newer fans who follow NXT were celebrating, arguing that Femi has been ready for this moment, and his dominance in developmental proves he can handle the pressure. Wrestling journalists immediately started speculating about backstage politics. Was this Brock's decision, putting over new talent on his way towards potential retirement? Was this Triple H making a bold statement about his vision for WWE's future, prioritizing younger stars over established names? Or was this a desperate attempt to create a WrestleMania moment with someone unexpected, hoping lightning strikes twice like it did with previous unknown challengers who became legends? The booking implications are staggering and frankly concerning for WWE's established hierarchy.
If Femi can walk into Raw and destroy Brock Lesnar without any build-up, what does that say about everyone else on the roster? What about the stars who've been grinding for years, paying their dues, working their way up the card? Are they supposed to accept that someone can skip the line completely and jump straight to legend killer status? This is where the anger comes from, and it's justified. Professional wrestling has always had an unwritten code. You earn your spot. You prove yourself against increasingly difficult competition. You build credibility before you challenge the top guys. Femi just obliterated that entire system in one 10-minute segment, and it feels like a slap in the face to everyone who followed the traditional path. But here's the counter-argument that's equally compelling.